Alrighty, everybody, this Hangout on air is live. Welcome, everybody. This is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show, and we're rocking the house. But you're wondering what this is. These are two magnets, powerful magnets. They have a molecular composition of magnetism to where the left axis and the right axis commingle and create a certain sensational bond that is extremely beneficial to the brain and the third eye. I'm just kidding, I totally made that up. I bought this at the airport for $10, like a bag of them. I don't know anything about it. All right, so here we are in Vilcabamba, Ecuador. Angela has her visa in her hand. We are looking into going into the United States in less than a month. Less than a month. That's right. So I've been talking all day. I'm hoping my voice handles through all this. And now we're going to answer some questions. And for those of you who don't know where to ask the questions, you go to news.therawfoodworld.com/live. So here we go. Viewers are piling in. Cheryl Laloney writes, "Hi, Matt. I ordered your hemp seeds and they are great. Also, thank you so much for the plant biotic. It shows how much you really care and you have gained a customer for life." Yay! Okay, so we just got brand new hemp seeds in. These hemp seeds are in a more raw state than I've ever seen hemp seeds before. They're more yellow, oily, buttery, and they taste incredibly good. And yeah, it's glue, right?
It's really soft and different.
Wow, look at that. That's right, Ryan. That's really interesting.
I wondered something else.
Okay, so it looks like Araya wants to do a little bit of show and tell here. Anyways, these hemp seeds are on sale until the end of the night. You can get,
I have a question.
and she wants a question, everybody. So Araya Berry Monarch is here. If you have any questions for her, post them up there, and then she'll answer. There's a little bit of a delay, right? So it might be a few minutes until they start asking questions. Our little raw food princess here, raw food world princess, Cinderella princess. You can get them for as low as $7.95 or even lower if you use the coupon codes that are on our website. So go check those out, those hemp seeds. Incredible. Okay. Terry TJ Junebug writes, 23 minutes ago. Hi, Matt. What are you currently eating these days? Food. Is it still almond butter and homemade applesauce? No. I have been stuck not knowing what to eat. I don't want to go to a lot of trouble to make food. As a matter of fact, I have no appetite. I wonder why that might be. If I eat, it's just to live, not because I want it. Soon I'm actually going to be doing a video probably on the salad I eat each day. I eat a really big salad these days. Lots of lettuce in a big bowl. Cut up an avocado. Lots of chia oil. For some reason, I just love that. It's really light, and I feel like I could get away with eating a lot of it. It just makes everything taste oily. It's awesome. Dulse. Tomatoes. And then I just mix all that up. Sometimes I put pine nut flakes in there. One of my favorite things.
And I got an envelope for you, and you can find some paper for it.
Woo! crayons inside the envelope, everybody. All right, Anna writes, Matt, I haven't seen any new questions. Here we go. Let's see if there's one for Araya here. Okay, no, not yet, Araya. Matt, I am 38 and feel very uncomfortable as most of my friends are married with kids. How would one overcome the situation and find peace with what is? All right. We love the loaded questions. I need more information, Anna. You feel uncomfortable because you're not married and you're 38, you're older. Do you want to have kids? Do you have kids? Is that the situation? Let me know that answer real quick, because that's kind of an important one to understand the situation more. Is the reason you're sad because you want to have kids and you can't? That was 21 minutes ago, though. Okay. And if you don't answer, because maybe you're not listening right now, I'll answer the question from both angles. Actually, I'll just do it right now. Actually, Araya's probably going to come back and forth, and it's a loaded question, and being interrupted is not going to be easy for that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, and we're going to come back to this. Matt, I have tried being raw vegan multiple times and experienced horrible weakness. I don't do well with cooked grains and legumes. What would you do if you would be me? I don't like fish or meat, allergic to dairy. Would you just go back to eating those? So Peter, so generally when a person goes raw vegan, the reason they become weak.
It's an envelope for you.
The reason they become weak is because they're going through detoxification and withdrawals.
An envelope for you.
Thanks, right? Dad is doing a hangout. He's really got to answer the people's questions. Mwah.
I want one of those foods because I can do something with Mama on these days, and it's really fun. You got to guess what it is, and you are doing the hangout.
Okay. She took my 2 magnetic balls because they're doing something, and she wants us to guess what it is. Okay. So generally, what is happening is it's similar to when a person eliminates coffee. They eliminate coffee, and what happens? They've been drinking it for 20 years. They eliminate coffee. All of a sudden, they go through withdrawals. They get coffee breath. They get the shakes. They get headaches, and they want their fix. And it's uncomfortable. It's the same experience that it sounds like you're going through right now. And if you think the coffee drinker has it bad, the person that goes raw vegan generally eliminates many ingredients, like refined sugars, processed starches, and stuff like that. So it sounds like if I was in your situation and one thing you could do is colon cleansing to aid the process of the withdrawals.
Trying to stick there.
Wow, right. All right, that is really better to do this thing. You could try doing colon cleansing to help eliminate the withdrawals and aid this process. But what happens is it expedites the process to where you get boxed in quicker, where you can require less foods and stuff like that. That's one possible option, if that's even the reason why you don't feel well when you do this. Maybe I would experiment with other cooked whole foods. Maybe steamed vegetables would work for you. What about eggs? That's on a whole foods diet, and things like that. I would just keep experimenting with all the whole foods. If you look at, if you want to ask questions, go to news.therawfoodworld.com/live. And if you're there right now, Peter, to the right here is a link that says Whole Foods list. And I like to share this list with people because it has all the foods a person can eat on a whole foods diet, which is eliminating all processed foods. And when you eliminate all processed foods, this is the key in order to end up pharmaceutical drug free in the long run, not needing pharmaceutical drugs in the long run, not becoming incapacitated like the majority of the elderly today, yada, 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 ending up senile. This is where we want to be. So I would go to that list right there, click Whole Foods Diet, and check out what foods are on there and experiment with what you can possibly use and not use. And the key would be to stay in this realm, if that makes sense, and not go into processed foods such as refined sugars, processed starches, trans fatty acids, and so on. So Sophie writes, hey, Ryan, we got a couple questions for you. You ready for the questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Araya Berry Monarch. Does Araya have a favorite princess? She's going to get her favorite princess, everybody. Sophia's your favorite princess? When did that happen? Someone says, Araya, can you draw us a picture? Oh my goodness. Look at that picture, right? What is it?
It's a Gruffalo.
It's a Gruffalo, everybody. Let me see what's going on. Okay, if you have any more questions for Araya, let us know. Okay, Sophie writes, I eat a raw vegan diet, but experience severe as rental fatigue. I don't know if you're typing right. Someone recommended granular adrenaline support. Have you heard of those and recommend them? I haven't heard of them, and I don't know anything about them. But generally, if a person eliminates processed foods forever and continues on a cooked whole foods diet, I've literally met tens of thousands of people who have healed from all sorts of degenerative diseases from simply doing that. The ultimate thing a person could do in order to heal from anything is to eliminate the cause of disease, which is processed foods. It's obvious. In the book, Why We Are Fat by Gary Taubes, he states that as soon as a third world country gets things from the United States, such as sugar and flour, which are processed foods, refined sugars and flours, all of a sudden, the obesity rates go up. The degenerative disease rates go up, and they become a sick nation. And the cause of this is the processed foods. So when you eliminate the cause of disease, all of a sudden, the body starts to heal itself. So it's not like we want to take something in order to heal. We want to eliminate the cause of the disease in order to heal. For example, I give this example quite frequently. If you were to take a plant that is doing really well, it's vibrant with green leaves, and all of a sudden, every single day, you start to dig up the roots underneath it, and when you do this, all of a sudden you realize a few days later, the plant is starting to wither. and the leaves are turning yellow now. And you're like, oh man, my plant is a mess here. This sucks. I heard that granular adrenaline support will actually make the green leaves turn green again. So then all of a sudden you start feeding the plant this adrenaline support stuff, and then it might all of a sudden temporarily get better for a second, but then it doesn't really do anything. The leaves continue to stay yellow, and the cause of this disease is us digging the roots up every single morning. So what happens is when you eliminate the cause of disease, which is digging these roots up, all of a sudden the plant starts to heal itself and starts to turn green again. And it didn't even need any adrenaline support or anything else like that. And it's the same thing with the human body. If you eliminate the cause of disease, which is processed foods, then the body all of a sudden can start to heal itself. Granted, there is an entire spiritual aspect to this whole entire disease situation, but doing this physical work in terms of improved diet has proven time and time again to help people heal from all sorts of degenerative diseases. And it also aids the spiritual aspects, because if you succeed on an improved diet like this, automatically you're doing more spiritual work, because unable to succeed, most people don't succeed on diets. Why is this? Because you've got to do spiritual work. You've got to focus, and when the cravings come in, you've got to do the spiritual work in order to not eat. And you're making choices in your life to improve your dietary lifestyle, to improve your health. It's almost like you're changing spiritually. There's lots of spiritual things going on at the same time when a person improves their diet. So there's an exceptional chance for a person to heal if they eliminate the cause of disease, the physical aspect, which is processed foods. All right. We don't have that many questions today. Okay, so here we go. This might be the shortest hangout we have ever had in the history of the raw food world. Coconut water, so good. This is from the green coconuts. Okay, Anna, we're recycling all the way back to your question. Actually, we got one more question, then we're gonna go back to Anna's one about the whole friends being married with kids around. Okay, Anne writes, there is an ingredient called fulvic acid in your systemic enzyme towards the end of the list. What exactly is that, and what is the health benefits? Thank you. The fulvic acid aspect, it's in very minute quantities inside of the systemic enzyme. It's kind of like a binder that just aids the enzyme process. It's just a little bit. But fulvic acid is actually something, it comes from, now it's actually, fulvic acid is really high in minerals. And it actually has the potential to break down foreign substances in the human body. And so it's like a way to get minerals, and it's like a, what do you call those? Something with the enzymes that can actually help aid the process of the enzymes. We actually have our systemic enzymes back on our website right now. They're called cleansing enzymes. You could probably type in systemic and they'll still pop up. They're the most powerful enzymes I've ever experienced. One guy at our retreat started taking them. It's one of the reasons why we had to get them back on our website. Wow, it's Sean the sheep. Who drew this?
Mama.
Oh, wow, Mama. Okay. Cheryl writes, what coconut water will I drink in the States? Florida has the same exact coconuts as these. I mean, not same exact, but the same concept. I have connections there. I might even like have it frozen and shipped to me. I don't know. I'll probably cut down on my coconut water drinking when I come back to the United States. And Araya is the one who really needs her coconut water. So we will definitely make sure we supply her And I'm sure I'll drink coconut water too, but there's ways to get it from Florida. And actually, we're actually coming to Florida first. So we'll be in Florida for weeks, and I'll be able to get coconut water every day, no problem. They have the green coconuts on the coconut trees. All right, the girls have gone into the bath. Okay, hey Matt, what's going on? I might have missed you talking about this, but did you try that Tibetan Gold Ormus? Just wondering what you thought of it. I'll do it right now. All right, guys. I haven't done it yet. This is supposedly like one of the best Ormuses. If you know how much I paid for this, you wouldn't want to know. So if you take this every day, there is one guy who is writing that you'll start to hear this like ringing thing. And like, am I gonna have a difficult time sleeping tonight, taking it right before I go to bed? I'm already wound up after a hangout. This is why I gotta do it in the morning. But anyways, I hear enough things. I don't need ringing going on top of all that. All right, let's open this bad boy. How do I take it is the question. I don't even know how much to take. All right, here we go. It's got an interesting cap here. Okay, that's a lot. If I have sleeping problems tonight, I'm coming after McKenna Lewis. Maybe I shouldn't take as much. Always when I take the first thing, the first dose, I always want to take a lot. So let's do it. Wow, that's a lot. There's still a lot here. It's a little salty. Pure white powdered monatomic gold. I already feel it. Third eye a little bit. I'm a sensitive guy though, so. Oh no. Why did I do that? McKenna! Okay. It's only 7:23 here. Okay. Mike writes, what would be good for severely damaged stomach, intestines, and colon? Oh man. Okay, so how is it severely damaged? Like, what do you mean? Like, you're saying like all of these things are severely damaged. Like, were you in a car accident and you were wearing a seatbelt on around this area and like you have steel plates in there damaged? Or is it like damaged by acid? Like, how is all this damaged? Anyways, what people generally do when they run into this situation, if they could stay in this world after taking Tibetan Gold Ormus, is generally a person isn't able to eat much because of that, and they tend to do a juice. They just drink juices, vegetable juices, lots of vegetable juices. I like to recommend and do half carrot and half greens or whatever like that, and a person could literally live off of that. And then it's also the most regenerating. I'm not saying you want to live off that forever, just like for the time being. It's the most regenerating micronutrient food on the planet. And if anything is going to help regenerate you, it's the elimination of all of, you're going on a juice fast. You're eliminating so many things. So you go through a lot of cleansing and your body has a lot of energy in order to heal. And then on top of that, Ormus Gold, everybody, please deal with me. So when you take that Ormus Gold and lose total concentration and thought of what you were just talking about, okay, so you're juicing, you're sitting there juicing, and then your body has the potential to regenerate itself better because the energy is not being used on digesting food. You're getting micronutrients in the most absorbable form you possibly can imagine, and the body has the potential to regenerate quicker to where you can start healing and eating food once again. Other things you might want to do during this time period is take omega fatty acids, such as some hemp oil, chia oil, maybe omega-zen plus EPA, which is an EPA and DHA supplement. So you get all the different omega-3 fatty acids, sacha inchi oil. You can do things like this too. So you're getting a lot of what the human body needs. You can take some B12 patches, D3 patches. You know, you could take Pink Essential, which is a mineral supplement. This is just like a micronutrient crazy fast that can aid the process of healing very rapidly. Okay. Mike writes, I ate something bad unbeknownst to me. Okay, so Mike is stating the one who has severely damaged stomach, intestines, and colon. You mean like, is this ongoing, or you just have this right now because you ate something bad, or you ate something so bad that this thing that you ate bad totally damaged you completely? We're running out of questions already. Okay, let's go to the fully loaded question here. Man. Okay, so now I got to remember to start taking this every day to see what happens. Tibetan Ormus Gold, everybody. I just took it. I'm flying a bit. Should be interesting. And I took a lot. You guys saw that. Man. No regrets. None. I just didn't get much sleep last night, and it might happen again now, which is good. It tasted a little salty, almost tasted rocky, like a little sand almost. Okay, so back to Anna. The loaded question. There's no other questions right now. Matt, I am 38 and feel very uncomfortable as most of my friends are married with kids. How would one overcome the situation and find peace with what is? Okay. I mean, the big question is, do you want to have kids? That's like the big question here. But regardless, let's look at the current situation. Okay, so it's hard to put this in words, but everybody has crap going on. Yours is this, while your friends who have children is something else. It's almost like you're more worried about what they think of you versus the situation. It's like you don't like being judged. But anyways, it's a very difficult situation to deal with. And it's really bizarre. Meaning like the people that are closest to us don't get it. And it's almost like you got to play a game, like a facade. for example, these hangouts that I've been doing have become very popular. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, respect my advice and they want to know, they ask me questions, and I'm always getting questions all the time about things, and they understand that on some level I have a deep understanding of certain spiritual aspects and stuff like this. But the closest people to me are with me every single moment of my life, or they were with me every single moment. I was speaking all day today, so my voice is a little off. Or they were with me all of the time. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can say. It is impossible. The more I say, the bigger of a hole I dig myself into. So finally, a person realizes that the connection, it's almost like a secret life that we lead. So the point of all this, in regards to what you're dealing with here, is, I guess it doesn't really have much to do with it, but it's similar in one way. But I mean, if you look at this, I mean, you're even stating it here. How would one overcome the situation and find peace with what is? You already know the answer. What is what is. But there is a certain aspect with these people that are close to you that is overflowing into your reality, whether it's in this physical realm or spiritual realm. It wouldn't bother you. Well, maybe it would, but a lot of overflow happens, you know, if someone judges you. You feel that. But in essence, so the relation to what I just explained is, there's this ego aspect of what I'm talking about, of me and my, you know, people I grew up with, my family, all these different things. There's an ego aspect there, and it has to drop because it's useless. It's futile. So with these people that you're dealing with, it's futile to even like go into their realm of thinking. It's just a never-ending tunnel that drains you, and it does nothing beneficial to you. Like people that are close to me from my past and stuff like that, can't even say a word. And they're not going to ask questions. So the point is this understanding of creating a division there on some level. It's one of the hardest things. But the easiest at the same time. Because if you play it right, then less energy drain happens to you, and you just have a deeper understanding, more life, because you're not being drained. Because if you're able to handle this, you're probably also able to handle other things spiritually. And then there's a whole nother realm that you're experiencing that they have no idea about, which is the spiritual realm. Most people know nothing about it. So the true treasure and gold isn't what these people think of you, but is the spiritual work that is happening on the inside of you. And when that becomes your game, a serious game, because this is a game for keeps, then you're completely fulfilled. Working on our intent is critical. What is it that you want? So what we do, maybe you don't want this to bother you anymore. So you work on your intent, connect to the source, the creator, and you start fixing your intent. Man, this stuff, Tibetan gold. So you start focusing vibrational, like vibration. You don't have to like say words. You could just be like, it's my goal and mission, an entire thought and vibration connecting to the source. I don't want this to affect me. It's my intent to get past this. It's my intent to not feel inferior because I don't have a child or that I'm not married. And it's almost like you just start connecting and doing this. And then what happens is you start to change. It's almost like, and one of the number one things we can do is work on our intent. There's a few number one things we can do. Let's go over them right now. One is always working on our intent. What is intent? One person can do an act and have good intent, and another person could do the same exact act and have bad intent. They're the same exact physical act, but because of the intent, one is good and one is not good. For example, when Araya was 2, we were eating lunch. She saw the dogs on the floor. She took my food and threw it on the floor. She had a good intent there. Her heart was golden. But if another guy came up to me, took my food and threw it on the floor and was giving this evil look, that's an entire different thing. But this is what intent is. My intent is like I'm always working on things. Let's say you are you notice that you have, you start drifting and you start thinking about someone and you start hating on somebody. And like, oh, I'm better than them if I could just show them this and this, blah, 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 blah. You catch yourself doing this, oh man. Okay, I'm gonna connect to the source and I'm gonna fix my intent. I'm gonna start working on it. I'm gonna like change my vibration. Like now I'm like, I don't want to be drifting, first of all. And secondly, I don't want to be hating on people. I want to show up and be friends, and if they have questions, they have questions. It's no big deal. My most important thing is with you and growing spiritually and coming closer to you. And like just sticking with this. This is like the goal. Or maybe you're a married person and all of a sudden you are dreaming about another person. I just caught myself, okay, I don't want to be doing that. I realize when I do this, this ends up in suffering because I know it's not ideal and I can feel this out after I do it and da 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 da. This is my goal. So it's like, this is like working on our intent. It's like connecting and then changing your vibration. I can't even say it in words. I can't do it. But it's almost like I'm doing it. I want to be good. And like now I'm vibrating that. I'm going to continue over and over and over. It's like a push. Okay, so one of the number one things we can do is work on our intent. Another one is pay attention and do this focus work so we can actually get out of our mind and feel what's actually going on. Most people aren't doing this. And the number one thing we can do for spiritual growth, this is like supersedes all other things. But before we get into that one, another thing is live, enjoy life, like live, like play, go to the river, run, jump, play with your child. And take Tibetan Ormus Gold. No, I'm just kidding. And the other thing, the most important out of all of them, is making this commitment. What is this commitment? Let's talk about positive versus negative, good versus evil, good versus bad. We all know to do good. For example, we're not going to go steal something. We're not going to go murder something. We're not going to go rob a bank. We're not going to go cheat on our wife or husband or anything like this. Firstly, because these are physical acts and we can get caught. We don't want to be doing these things. We could be sent to jail. We could be labeled as a bad person. But there's a whole different other aspect of good versus bad, good versus evil, that most people don't really consider important. However, it is more important or as important as these physical aspects, or even more. And that's what's happening on the inside. A person might say they're all about good and helping people, but they're all about money, fame, greed, power. A person might be married and they're, walking down the street and they're fantasizing about other people, like guys walking by, girls walking by, hot girls, hot guys, and they're a married person. And they might get a compliment. We talk about this, I've talked about this before. A person might be walking down the street and they get a compliment from the opposite sex. And then all of a sudden, their hormones start to go. It's initial body reaction. And a person could choose to do one of two things right now. One, they can stop it in its tracks with if you start to focus, kind of like a person would stop anger, and then you're done. Or a person might go, oh, that felt so good. And they start looping the thought in their head, compliment, and they get these tingly vibrations and frills, and they start playing with it, and they keep looping it on and on. Oh, I want more, and I want more. What's happening right now is this person's energy is being drained. And they're being 100% completely toyed with. So a person might not cheat on their husband or wife, but if they start playing around like this, what's going on here? Some people think it's natural. Well, tell your husband that you were just fantasizing about this guy and tell me how natural that is and what he starts to do, or the opposite. How do you think they would feel? And this is I'm not accusing anybody. This is like a huge thing that is not the easiest thing we got to work on our intent and we want to be doing this. And the majority of human beings are doing this. And I'm not saying you're a bad person for doing this. The majority of people are doing this. There's just repercussions for doing it, for playing with those frills of life, because your energy gets drained. And when your energy gets drained like this, you build up a certain amount of energy, and then ironically, these are the times when you get that compliment, because you're overflowing here, and that's food. So all of a sudden you get zapped and you come back down here. And then you have less power in the spiritual realm. And when you have less power in the spiritual realm, you experience more suffering and misery because you don't have that power to combat that. So those times, when you're sitting alone all by yourself in your car and you're just like, oh, this sucks. Life just sucks at these moments. You're going to be experiencing more and more of that because you're having your energy drained. And when for the first time you realize that you don't want to be going through the suffering, and you finally realize to get out of this loop, you're in this loop. You build up energy, boom, you come back down in this loop. This is what you're doing. And then when finally for the first time you realize, I don't want this suffering anymore. So then you stop playing, and then spiritual growth happens. And then you're not subject to, and then there's a whole nother, it's not just this one incident. This is just one aspect out of many. Like maybe you have an ego issue and you are continually doing that. I mean, if you thought this whole sex thing is difficult, let's talk about the chip on the shoulder. How many times in your relationship or a family member or something like this does something bad to you, and then all of a sudden you're angry and you're not going to be happy until they bow down and say sorry to you? It's almost like you're in pain and suffering as you're doing this false anger thing, trying to make them feel bad because they did this to you, the victim. And now here you are in the state of this, and you can't even get out of it. You're stuck. What's happening here? Your energy is completely being drained. And then guess what? You end up in suffering. You're already suffering. When you're the one who has the issue, you're the one who should be saying sorry to them, because you're shooting the negative energy at them. You did this to me, and you're just like, being responsible for everything that happens in your reality is critical. Nobody does anything to you. You're responsible for everything. So, back to the point of all this is so we all know to do good and not evil, but then there's this whole other aspect where things happen on the inside of us in the spiritual realm, and nobody sees that but you and one other, which is, so the things that we were talking about, the ultimate things we could do is work on our intent, do that focus work and pay attention, live, and lastly is to make this commitment. Oh my goodness. I had no idea. I had no idea that you were watching every last thing that I did. Up to this point, I did this, this, and this. I had no idea you were watching. I had no idea that these things I was doing was impacting my spiritual growth. I am sorry. Sorry. From this moment forward, I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. I am so certain and positive of it, I'm going to prove it to you 100%. It's like already done. I've already made the decision. I'm going to make this choice over and over again, and every last bit of my life, it's done. Making this commitment, please consider me to move forward spiritually in the most easy and gentle way. Now, that is the number one thing. And performing it forever. This is the final choice forever. Sorry, I made the mistake and starting over. Let's just keep doing this. What he sees is your heart and intent. So, and we're not perfect, but making this commitment is the number one thing we can do for spiritual growth. To the Creator, the highest spirit, some people call it the highest spirit of all, the creator of all living things, God. All right. Oh, Ormus Gold, why did you have me take it, McKenna Lewis? For people that are tuning in right now, McKenna Lewis is like, have you tried this yet? And I said, no. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Okay. Okay, so back to the question from Anna. I am 38 and feel very uncomfortable as most of my friends are married with kids. How would you overcome this situation and find peace with what is? Well, we just spent the last half hour talking about that. Okay, so Cheryl Lalone writes, how do I know if a vitamin D patch is right for me? I don't go to doctors. Well, do you get sun? I mean, my first choice always is try just to get in the sun for as long as possible when it's available. And if I don't get enough sun, then maybe I would put a D3 patch on. Not every day, like if I didn't get enough sun for like a month or something, or a week or two or something. B12 patches, I take more often because I am getting plenty of sun, if that makes sense. I need to take a B12 patch. Not tonight though. Man. McKenna Lewis. We've got one more question. Anybody else want to ask some questions? Sunny Tipper writes, Matt, my sons are on a mostly whole foods diet with the occasional birthday party slip up or when traveling. What is the youngest you do some kind of enema or colon cleanse? Hey, Sunny. Okay, so it's what I'm getting here is that they went to a birthday party and they slipped up with processed foods, and you want to give them a colonic because of this. Now, I don't ever recommend giving children enemas or colonics for making up for something like that, but for when they're sick, it's the best time to do this. For example, whenever I do a talk, usually I address some of the elderly people in the room saying, hey, what did your grandma or mom do whenever you got sick as the first measure? And they would say, they'd give me an enema. Before pharmaceutical drugs, the hospitals actually did that. That was the first thing that they ever did. And generally, a lot of the time, that just takes care of the cold. But if it's not something I would just take to make up for mistakes for your child. Like, are they not feeling well? Like, what's going on there? Like, I would just let them work it out. And if they got sick, that's a whole different situation. But if a child is sick, then I'm not a doctor. Everything I say here is based on personal experience. Check with a healthcare practitioner before making any changes. But only when sick would I even possibly give a child an enema. Me personally. You guys, I am flying on Ormus. I took a lot. I was going to sleep good tonight because I didn't sleep yesterday. I guess I could scratch that one, McKenna Lewis. All right, so it looks like the audience isn't asking many questions. So here we go. You guys want to ask questions as soon as possible while I'm going over this one, or we're gonna have to call it quits. Steve says, you seem to favor fat over fruit in your diet recommendations. Can you explain your rationale for this? Thanks. You favor a lot of fat over fruit in your diet recommendations. It's not that I favor fat over fruit. I just don't favor high fruit, very low fat diets. But I eat fruit. I eat fruit every day all the time. I don't think there's anything bad in it. But generally, a person has a hard enough time going on a raw food diet. Going on a whole foods diet, they have a hard enough time. The most concentrated foods on the raw food diet are the fats, such as avocados, nuts, and seeds, and things like this. Fruit is like 95% water with sugar and delicate soluble fibers. It's like, if you're to only eat fruit, it's like going on a water fast with sugar. And when you start, what happens is with the fats, they're more concentrated and you'll go through less withdrawals if you take it. And there's a great chance it'll be more well balanced. Arnold Ehret, who was one of the kings of fruitarian principles, stated that fruit breaks down solid waste matter and turns it into a gaseous state. So all of a sudden when a person eats a lot of fruit, all this sugar and combustion is taking place, crazy amounts of gas, and they're going through crazy withdrawals. Most people on this high fruit, low fat diet aren't even 100% raw, so they don't even really get to experience what we're talking about here with the withdrawal aspect. They're eating refined sugars, cereal, the worst of the worst. So they're not on a fruitarian diet. And then on top of that, you're throwing in loads of sugar. It can just get crazy. We had a month ago, we were getting, like, for 3 weeks straight, we were getting people coming to me on this Hangout who were doing the 80-10-10 diet, who were running into problems. Their hair was falling out, their teeth were messed up. They were trying to fix this, the problems that they got into from doing high fruit, low fat. Now, I'm okay with fruit. I love it. Just like, come on, 30 bananas with like greens and a nut. You know, I don't think that's a very good thing. So there's my rationale. My rationale. All right, guys. We ain't got many questions, and I'm sitting here on Ormus, and I'm gonna be flying for the rest of the night all by myself. What should I do? What should I do? I don't know, but I think it's time to say goodnight to you. It's been about an hour. Oh. Araya's naked. You want cocoa water?
Yes.
Okay. We're about to actually call it quits, Raya Biza. You want to say anything to the people? Nothing? Okay. I think it's time for Dada to go to bed too. Little bun. You want cocoa water?
Yes.
Okay, you know how to go get it, right? And I'm flying.
Dada,
Yeah, baby.
I want to find all of these. I just didn't like this.
Oh my goodness, she's playing with the glue. All right, guys. This is Matt Monarch. 1 hour hangout tonight. No more questions. Got a naked little Raya Bird Monarch behind me.
Very fast because Mama's gonna see it and then I think that on this. You are helping me get the coconut off.
We actually just got questions. All right. Raya Berry Monarch came and saved the day for people to ask me questions. Here it is. I'm in New Jersey, and the raw food diet has not yet caught on. What's your take on that? Okay, I'm going to do this with you right now since we have a slow night tonight. Not many questions. Normally, I can't even keep up with questions. What I'm doing is I'm going to meetup.com. This is the ultimate place to find raw food gatherings and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is all meetups in the field here, I'm typing raw food, and then within 100 miles of New Jersey. That is doing a hangout, right? Let's do, I only know Newark. So 100 miles from Newark, New Jersey. All right, you know how to get cocoa water. You want some of Dennis cocoa water? You want to take this one? Newark, New Jersey. Cold coconut water? You know how to do it. There you go, you can go. Put some knickknackers on if you're gonna come in the video. Knickknackers. This is what happens when you live with UK wives and children. Okay, so raw food. Okay, so what we have here is 864 raw foodists in a group. Another one that has 459. This one's called LI Raw Vegans. Oh, it's Long Beach, New York. Maybe there's nothing going on in New Jersey. That is rare. Connecticut. Oh, man. Okay, so my take on that is, you know, it hasn't caught on. Sorry, D. Angelica writes, what is the Ormus doing? What's the difference between gold and other Ormus? This is just a really concentrated form of Ormus. It'd be like taking triterpene crystals of the reishi mushroom, I would suppose. What is it doing? I have no idea. Buzzing me. Buzz. I don't know. I'll start taking it every day, and I'll give you my report next Hangout.
Hannah, I just want you to come because I want to use it for the tools.
Araya, Dad is doing a Hangout right now, and he can't leave the people. There's lots of people watching. There's 1,000 people watching, right?
I want for the tools.
There's a torch on the sink right there. All right. Here we go. Steve says, some say that to fully detox and heal, that you need to go with primarily fruits. Do you think that you can fully detox with a goodly amount of fat in your diet, like you recommend? Thanks again. Yes! All right, dude. These people that you're listening to, number one, probably aren't on a 100% raw food diet. And if you're eating refined sugar with fruit, you're going to do less detoxing than a person eating high-fat raw foods. Because refined sugar is one of the most damaging foods to the human body. It is one of the substances that is introduced to third world countries that makes them it makes them sick, degenerative diseases, regardless. So it's not about fully detoxing. It doesn't work that way. The human body is a detoxing machine. It will continually detox till the day you die. But now we're talking about detoxing old toxins. What happens is, when you eliminate something from your intake, your body goes through withdrawals of that substance. If you eliminate coffee, you're going to go through withdrawals of that substance, which is coffee. And then once you've eliminated coffee for all this time, you undo everything and finally reach a point to where you detox fully from coffee. So you could be eating processed foods and you fully detox from a substance. So then when you go on a 100% raw food diet, eating a high-fat diet, You're eliminating all these other processed foods and foods from your intake. So you're going to fully detox. Time, it takes years. You're going to fully detox from everything that you've eliminated from your diet. Yes, you can fully detox from wherever you want. And you can go as far as you want. So, okay, now you're on a raw food diet. Eliminate avocados. And then you're going to fully detox from avocados. But how good is that? How far do you want to take it in this world? You're going to become so clean that the air quality is going to damage you more than this. And if you're just loading crazy amounts of even natural sugar in your body while you're going through withdrawals, especially if you're eating only fruit, you're going to get crazy deep toxins that are really extremely concentrated, that are dangerous, compared to if you're eating more fat. So this concept is logical on detoxification. They don't understand it. Fully detox, they don't even know what fully detox means. Because if they knew what fully you're hitting a spot. A spot. A spot. All right. Anybody else want to get me going? Okay, so I think I answered that question. Mike writes, thanks for the dragon's blood. Any other supplement that might be good for healing internal damage? It's more about, I'm thinking if there is anything. You could take aloe. And what is this internal damage? You didn't answer. You ate something bad. What did it do? Did it cut you? Acid? Like why are you damaged from eating one thing one time? I think there's something else going on here that is a little deeper than like the actual physical aspects of what's going on. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Tell me more so I can understand. But aloe would be good. Eat lots of aloe vera. What is the other one? Slippery elm bark. That can like build up the mucosal lining. That's a really good one, slippery elm bark. Ramona Lay writes, hi Matt, thank you for the interview invite. I'm suffering with vertigo right now. Do you have any ideas for me to feel better? Someone just said this to me the other day and I looked it up. Vertigo, I don't even know what vertigo is right now. What is vertigo? Vertigo is, why isn't it showing up? A sensation of spinning that is related to problems with the inner ear. So it's like dizziness, it sounds like. What you got to do is look at your diet and be like, okay, what's going on here? And then see what you could tweak in order to not get that spinning. Like, when did this start? There's lots of ways to go deeper, you know what I mean? Focus. Like if you are starting to spin or whatever's going on with this vertigo, it's almost like you can focus and be part of the sensation. There's probably fear involved with that because something's wrong with you, is what you think. And when you start spinning, it's freaky. But you could almost kind of look at it as like a psychedelic trip. Not that I'm saying to do that, but you could like focus and kind of like understand it more. And overcome the fear aspect of it, so it doesn't get worse. Be okay with it. Vertigo, it's just a name. D writes, does coconut raise your bad cholesterol? I'm assuming you mean coconut oil. It depends on who you are. Most likely, no. I'm just going to say no. But if a guy like me who's sensitive, who hasn't had coconut oil for years, and it's a very concentrated food for a guy like me, and I start eating crazy amounts of coconut oil, I might have some issues. But I've taken it so far. But most people are eating trans fatty acids, so it's like an improvement. So no, I would say no. I just ordered an enema bag, and I'm kind of scared to use it. How do I get over it and just do it? Just do it. I don't know. What are you scared about? You just got to play and experiment with it. All right, guys. It looks like there's no more questions. Okay, so how do you get over it and just do it? We'll dissect the enema bag question. The fear enema bag question. I just ordered an enema bag, and I'm kind of scared to use it. Should we address the fear aspect of using this enema bag? How do I get over it and just do it? How do you get over it and just do it? Okay, so procrastination holds a lot of people back. I'm not saying this is a procrastination issue. It's partly that. It's almost like, oh, I don't want to deal with it today. If that makes sense. It's all about just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it. All right, guys. It seems like a light night tonight. Not many questions. So I think we're going to call it a night. It was fun. There were some good things in there. This is Mount Monarch, rocking the live hangout. We will do it again next week. And this is Mount Monarch. I'm going to go try to get some sleep. Now I got to take the Ormus every day. I'm going to bring this to my computer so I have it with me. And we'll see you next week at the Raw Food World. Online, live, hangout.